we've got Francis Mauigoa or CC Mauigoa from Miami, the Hurricane. Bottom line, this guy's a top 15 pick in the draft. In my opinion, the dude is got some big time strengths to his game. He doesn't lose a whole ton of reps. Very good prospect. Let's get into the film. I've watched 8 games, including the most recent in the Notre Dame film study. And the dude has been fantastic, spectacular. There's not much else to say. He's got some weaknesses, okay, and we'll go through those. But he is number 61 up here. The torque straight up on display. The guy is powerful. And look at the creative hands he has here. He's one of the best when it comes to independent hand usage. He's not even the best rep, but he's good with his counters. And he has got incredible grip strength. This dude is giving up basically at this point. It's like Tyreek Sapp, oh, I'm in trouble. I can't do nothing. He is just so strong. When he gets his paws on you, it's over. You are going to stop where you are going. And there you go, throwing people to the ground. But yeah, holdings might be something a little bit more pronounced at the NFL level. Speed, we'll be talking about here in a little bit as well. That's going to be a recurring theme. This is game by game as well, so we'll see the good and the bad from each film study. Run blocking wise, he definitely produces some nice movement in the run game. I think he can get even better in that department too with his leverage. That really is a bit of a problem with him. He trips here a little bit. Some of those quick encounters with speed guys, I do think is a bit of an issue for him. And some people are going to call him a guard. I think he's a tackle. I think his arm length will be sub 34, so it's going to be probably in the 33 department. But he gets the job done. He reminds me, his build, if you look at him, to me, he looks like Troy Fautanu, but he's got the power of Darnell Wright. He doesn't have the athleticism of Fautanu, but he definitely has the build of Fautanu. I don't know, just the way that their body types are and whatnot. I feel like that they're very similar in that regard. He's definitely heavier though, and you see it in space. He just doesn't have that speed to get out and on screen in the screen game or consistently at the second level. But when he does and when it works, like boom, he's got the Punisher mentality that I love to see. And he's still going down the field, hustling with his running back there. So the punishing mentality, when he strikes, he's really, really good. Working a little combo. I'd like to see him be a little more balanced. He's not the most balanced either at the second level. He's trying to hit him. This one, I don't know if it's just an awareness thing. He thought his guard was helping him here, but he's kind of just like holding this one off. And then he's like, oh, I better get over there quick. And then it ends up getting, Cam Ward's insane. Cam Ward got out of a lot of these sacks. Good solid rep to the second level. Here he is again, kind of whiffing or missing the block there at the second level. So he does a good job at times, but he'll also miss them. He's kind of hit or miss at the second level is what I'm trying to say with this. He'll either have some really good reps, good hands there to knock him down and throw that, with his strong hands. So yeah, he has some moments where it's incredible, and then he'll have some where it's like he just completely misses. Here's a little bit of, I would say, footwork, lateral agility. He gets, stuck on this right lead over right foot over here. Not quite able to recover enough. Loses to the inside. He doesn't have the craziest of agility. The way he's built too. His legs are stocky and everything, so he has better agility than you would think. But he is still a little top heavy, and you can see it here too. He's a bit top heavy. He can be over the knees at times too. So that's something he's going to have to continue to work on his game. As I mentioned, when it does get to the second level connects, it's a thing of beauty. He can knock dudes back. His hands can be a little wide. He can, as I mentioned earlier, he can be susceptible to holding. He loses another inside counter. Look at this one, a little sloppy rep, but he finds a way. And look, what is he doing? Like karate? What does he think he is? Like, this is not, I don't know, Jackie Chan or something out here. Cobra Kai, I guess. He's been watching too much of that. But his leverage definitely needs to be something he works on, not just in the run game, but also in pass pro. I think he can get better in there. And if he does lose the power, it's because of his leverage. And most of the times, even with the lack of leverage, he still ends up winning the battle power-wise. Does a better job with the spin move there and making sure he stays patient. Those hands, those grip strength, he's just so powerful. Good solid second level block, gives his running back a nice lane. Here he is. This is a case where good edge rusher, Ashton Gelati, I thought gave him the best run. Other than the Notre Dame edge rusher, number 5, we'll see. I don't know his name yet, but Gelati gave him a really good run for his money in this game. Watch the swipe in the hands by Gelati, and he gets over his toes here rather than resetting. He gets off balance, and he ends up getting like a ride. Gelati also kind of cloth pulled him there and gets to the quarterback. He bounces back, though, in this next rep on Gelati. Good, solid bounce back there. And here's another one versus different Louisville player. Slight holding there, maybe. Gets a bit of the jersey. Good job again. Look at this. Gelati's just taking him for a run. I would like to see him maybe counter a little bit, but it just goes to show you his strength profile. Even though he's not the low man here, he still is able to, hold down that within reason. It's not perfect, though, and he needs to work on that a little bit. Good solid rep, good hand usage there, and keeping the rusher at bay. A little forward leaning once again, and then the rusher ends up getting to the outside. So you see it here. Once again, a little cloth pull here. Gelati's a beast, man. That's what I'm saying. I like Ashton Gelati a lot. This was one of the films that I watched with Ashton Gelati. I'm like, oh, yeah, Gelati's an absolute beast. The Chiefs are getting a stud there. But anyway, yeah, it's something he needs to work on a little bit, and it is an area that he loses on in pass pro. Now, look at the hands here. As I mentioned, he didn't get called for this, but in the NFL, I just feel like you should have gotten called for this. Look at that hand. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but he's definitely got the arm wrapped around the neck. He's going for the neck curl over there, so that's going to get called more times than not. Good, solid job of walling this guy off here and creating some space. Good little down block here, creating a ton of space. Also good blocking by the tight end. Great independent hand usage right here. Let's back this one up. I love his independent hands. He flashes them as good as anybody in this class. Starts with the right, comes back to the left, comes back to the right. You see him just working the independent hand use. Look at the little club right here, man. He gives this guy a little club, and he knocks him back. He's got some jarring power. Boom! That little smack, and then gets to the second level, and a good block there by him. Going up against Patrick Payton. This time he is the low man. Good leverage here. Patrick Payton needs to work on, who does he think he is? Caden Proctor? Remember Caden Proctor, if you watch that one, he pulled off a rep where he did this. And this kind of shows he doesn't have that elite length, okay? His wingspan is by no means top tier. So he's going to come in that 70-some mark and maybe even 75 to 77 range, I'm guessing, from a wingspan perspective, which some people are going to say, movement inside the guard. Oh, now he is. Now he's pulling out the karate, the Jackie Chan can, going with the kick there. So the inside counters, he's got to get a little bit better with that. And as I mentioned, the lateral agility is just okay. It's nothing crazy, but it is better than what you think. It's not horrendous. And it's not like he loses reps over and over again with the inside counters, but it is something. Good job here. Now, at this point, you got to let go, okay? That's a holding. You're holding him here, so I want to see him let go just a little bit earlier or keep his feet moving. That's what you need to do. Another pass flow rep. This time he does a good job just showing off the hands once again, the grip strength. He's so strong, so powerful with those hands. Good solid refit. And once again, the holding coming out into play. You got to let go, man. I know you're trying to protect Cam Ward, and Cam Ward's an ever immobile, quarterback that's moving around the pocket. So it does make things difficult, but there's a lot of quarterbacks like Cam Ward now in the NFL, so you have to be able to keep your feet moving, and that's something I think he needs to work on as well. It's just the footwork. It's not always moving in the right direction, and he needs to make sure he keeps those feet kicking. Good solid rep against number 97 here at Duke, going with some speed to power, and he does a good job leveraging down. You can see him right here. He gets to his height, and that's a good job, and then he gets to that anchor right there, the hop step, and protects Cam Ward enough to be able to scramble. You get that ball out. Going back over here, another good rep. Mirroring, showing off that mirroring ability. Second level. He's really good on the pull blocks. He'll miss some, but I would say that's definitely a strength of his pull block. Good leverage there. Watch him just lifting. I know he's way smaller than him, but he's lifting this guy up right here. Boom! He's just shrugging him up. Absolutely what you want to do. It gets them off their leverage and loses all their power. Solid rep here. Possibly could have been called for holding at the last minute. And I just want to see him let go a little bit sooner. That's what it's, avoid some of those holdings. Good job here getting to the linebacker. Spin move once again gets him to the inside. You see him showcasing that lack of lateral agility. He misses his left-hand lead, and he's now off into the weeds here. And he's not like Caleb Lomu, who's going to be able to recover maybe and spin and get back into the play. Even though he tries, man, he does try. Here's another little pull block and knocks that guy on the ground. So you could tell he's got the Punisher mentality. A little recovery there, and once again, holding right there to me. You gotta let go. That should get called. Here he is. Right hand on that shoulder blade. Too much. I think that can easily be called. So he's got to really, really work on that hand usage, not being so wide and holding. Good solid rep there. Here's another good rep. Stays mirroring, stays locked in man to man. Another thing, I didn't show a lot of these reps, but I do think his stunt pickup is not the greatest. I want to see, and it's not just on him. I thought the right guard could have done a better job too in a lot of the reps with him, because like you got to take this over and you got to let your right guard now take this over, because you have to get back right like before. He's already lost now at this point. You see now he's basically turned at a 70-degree angle. He needs to already be back over here at 110 and coming back over to protect Cam Ward. He does a good job to be able to recover, but if that's a faster rusher, and he's in trouble. So I do think that's something. Here he loses a little spin inside counter move. Just, I don't know, maybe expecting more help with his guard, and he doesn't realize it, like I saw earlier with that one rep, and gets a little lackadaisical on that one and allows a sack on Cam Ward. Full start. I know this is very subtle, and it's not a big deal, but only full start that I saw from CC Mauigoa there. Just kind of losing a little bit of hand there.
They do pound the rock
as you that he has right there. He loses this one to the Notre Dame edge rusher with some speed, and as we mentioned, just this could be a thing like talk about with the footwork. Does he have enough kick slide quickness to be able to get out consistently versus these speed guys? Not always there, and he needs to continue to work on that. Good job here, being able to kind of knock down and swat those hands with a slight snatch trap technique, and he does show off a decent snatch trap. As I mentioned, his hand technique is good. Now a little bit of a pull there on the jersey. You can get away with it a little bit. You just got to be careful, right? So good job with both of these guys, the right guard and the left guard, just kind of throwing these guys off the line, allowing this huge lane here. So this is good blocking by both the right guard and CC Mauigoa. And a little slow developing rep, but number 5, spin move. We've seen him get beat by this at least 3 times now, like 4 times, and he gets turned around. And that's what I was mentioning. Number 5 from Notre Dame, I thought got the best of him a couple of times in this one. Here we go. Just kicking that in. Nice little down block. So that's it here for the film. And now getting into the grades and starting off with the pass blocking, the anchor, the grip strength. It's a big time pro. I think he is the strongest offensive lineman that I've studied so far this year. The guy has got an incredible anchor. He's so powerful. When those hands, they latch on, man, and they're just vice grips. They're like, boom, you lock him in and you can't go nowhere. His leverage, though, does need to. I think he needs to work on the leverage, and not just in the run game, but also in the pass protection department. He has some moments where it's just like booming, and I think he's conscious of it. It's not like he's not conscious of it, but there are times where it's like he relies on his anchor so much, and I think he can do a better job of being the low man more consistently, so he doesn't have to work on that so much. And I also think his hand technique is very good. I think his power with his strike is nice, and you see him have some knockback power. And I think his accuracy is pretty good too. I think he does a good job in general with his hand technique. He's got some unique usage of his hands. He's really good with his independent hand usage. The dude knows how to use his mitts. So it's not quite maybe on the level of Troy Fautanu yet, but I do think there's some similarities there. And I think Fautanu was excellent. Fautanu just has better athleticism. As I mentioned, though, he has more power. His footwork needs to be improved, and it's definitely his weak point here in the pass blocking department, other than the stunt and blitz pickup, which I think he also needs to work on, and just passing things off more consistently, some of the awareness things, and trying to figure out, hey, I got guard help or I don't have guard help, so I need to slide over and do a better job of helping on the interior or whatever, right? So that's something I noticed, but I think his mirroring skills are very, very good. His balance through contact is solid, man. It's definitely anything B or above is above average for me. Anything C is either average to below average. Run blocking, his dry power is solid. He can definitely move guys there on those down blocks and just straight one-on-one power. I wouldn't call him elite in that department, but I would call him good. And that comes hand in hand with your leverage. I want to see him get a little bit more, low man, and that's going to help out with some of that dry power, that one-on-one, push. His torque, though, is really good. Like you saw him throw guys down to the ground. He can do that. And his sustainability is pretty solid as well. It's sometimes just a little bit more of a balance scenario, especially when you're talking about more second level. He can end up on the ground or he'll end up, a little wobbly, a little shaky. And I think he can improve on that. His second level, speaking of which, the reach blocking, not really there with CC Mauigoa. So, and that's fine. He's not a wide zone blocker. I don't really draft him to be that guy. That's just not, he's more of your man gap offensive tackle. His punishing ability, as I mentioned, definitely really, really good. Second level blocking is hit or miss. He's really good on some pulls And when he does connect at the second level, it's a thing of beauty. It's just not always there. Now, athleticism wise, the last thing I do want to touch on, his first step explosiveness is just average. It really is. It's nothing crazy, but he does have some surprising recovery ability. And it definitely surprised me at times when I was going through the film. Like, yeah, he can protect the edge. Like, he has that second gear that I would say is good. It's good enough to get the job done. And it convinced me enough to feel confident that he will be a right tackle in the NFL. I don't see him as a left tackle. I see him as a right tackle. I think that is really keep him on that right side, and I feel very, very good about that. So if you're the Giants, if you're a team like that is looking for a right tackle, I think this makes all right. Maybe the Seattle Seahawks, that would make a lot of sense to go get a guy like Francis Mauigoa. And then finally, redirect agility. We saw him lose to the inside quite a bit. Just need to keep it's partially footwork too, but I don't think he's got that level of agility. And it can be, if he misses his punch, then he can end up losing some of those inside spin moves or inside counters. Mainly the spin moves will give him problems. And the second level speed to finish it up is nothing, crazy or anything like that. But my comp for him to kind of recap and finish this all up would be a mix of Troy Fautanu in terms of build and look and frame, and with Darnell Wright's power. I think Darnell Wright meets Troy Fautanu. That's really my comp. I know it's two players with this, but I'm going to mold them and fuse them into one, like an X-Men or something. And he is the X-Men. No, I am the X-Men, all right? I love that movie. But yeah, CC Mauigoa, really good player. I have a top 15 grade on him, and he's somebody that I feel a stamp of approval. Dude is a first-round talent. That's where I'm at. Yeah, he's got some limitations, but I think he's going to be a very, very good offensive lineman, whoever gets him, and his tape is very, very good. So, yeah, let me know what you think, agree or disagree. I hope you guys have a great day. My name's G Sling. I'm doing my thing, and I'll talk to you later.